I got to keep these story times coming in because all the support, all the people watching, subscribing, even if you don't subscribe, it's support. Even if you like, share, and comment, it's support. But subscribing will help my channel get boosted out a lot because that tells the algorithm and YouTube that people support me. So hit that subscribe button. If you like reaction videos, if you like drama, if you like tea, heck, if you just like to hear somebody else's story, this is the platform for you. So if you're returning, you already know how we like to do it. Let's get straight into today's reaction.
So I'm gonna tell y'all how my dad and his brother died on the same day, 20 minutes apart in 2 different places. So I know this a lot, so I'm gonna give y'all a backstory first, then I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, and then I'm gonna tell y'all my perspective of it. So boom, not too long before the situation with my dad and my uncle, my grandmother had passed away. Like not even a whole 3 months. It was like 2 months, maybe a little over 2 months before my dad and uncle passed. My grandma passed, which is their mom, right? It was, I believe, August 18th, 2023. I had just graduated high school, and I kid you not, when all of this happened, it was my first week of college. Literally, when my grandmother died, it was my first week of college. So, of course, I was sad that my grandmother had passed away, but I was more sad for my dad than I was for myself because of the simple fact that I didn't really have a relationship with my grandmother, and it's not nothing that happened. She just never built one with me and my siblings. And the only reason I'm letting this be known is because there's a lot of confusion around this, because at this time it was a lot going on both sides of my family, because my uncle on my mom's side had also passed, but it was like 5 years prior to this, and they had just found his body around the time that my grandmother died. So this led to like them both having like ceremonies on the same day, and I chose to go to my uncle's because of the simple fact that he was always there for me. Like him, my dad, like they built a lot of character in my life. So even my dad understood my decision. So that's that. Fast forward to October 30th, 2023. Like I said, it's my freshman year of college, and at this time, it was the week of my first homecoming, like as a college student. So like that day, everything was going good. And to know me is to know, like, when it come down to my parents, I'm gonna be on the phone with them, like both of them. So I was on the phone, particularly this day, with my dad for most of the day, right? Everything was good, like nothing was off. Everything was like going good, like normal. So later that night, I had went to an event with my cousin, my first cousin, my dad's brother's daughter, because we were both in college together at the same school. We're very close. Well, we were very close, you know. So the event had ended, and we had got back to our dorms. I got back to my dorm, she got back to hers or whatever. And you know, I was just on the phone with, you know, some of my aunties or whatever, and then I got a call from my dad's girlfriend. I didn't answer the call, but it wasn't a reason. I think I was just on the phone with my aunts or anything, and I honestly wasn't used to my dad's girlfriend calling me. Like it was all love all the time. Every time we see her, I still love her to this day. But like I said, like I wasn't used to her calling me at that time, like unless she was calling from my dad's phone, you know. But when I had missed the call, I had went to my voicemails, and you know how like it'll transcribe the voicemail out. For some reason, the voicemail was like, hey, this is such and such, and instead of it saying my stepmom name, it said her daughter's name, which is immediately rang like a alarm in my brain. I don't know, but she was like, can you give me your mom's number? So I was like, dang, like why does my dad's girlfriend daughter want my mom's number? Like the first thing I'm thinking, like, did my dad do something? Did her mom do something? I didn't know what was going on. So I called her back immediately and got no answer. So I'm confused, like my nerves is bad, like everything, right? So like I said, I called her back and got no answer. So immediately my nerves is on high. So I hung up the phone with my aunties, and I basically listened to the voicemail instead of just reading out what it had transcribed. And you know how I said that it didn't say my dad's girlfriend name, it said her daughter's name? Yeah, y'all, when I listened to the voicemail, my stepmom definitely said her name. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how did it transcribe to your daughter's name? Like, that's the thing that really had my anxiety on 10. So I call my dad. Like, I'm blowing his phone up, blowing it up, no answer. So, like, that definitely had me on the edge, even more because of the simple fact that when I call my dad, no matter what he's doing, he's gonna answer that phone. If he's using the restroom, in the shower, he gonna answer, hold on B, I'm gonna call you back. Hold on honey B, I'm gonna call you when I'm done doing this. Even when he's at work, he's answering the phone. Like, everybody at his job knew me because we were always on the phone. So, like, you know, but I guess, you know, I don't know. So, like, 5 minutes later, my mama called me. And not only did my uncle's daughter, which is my first cousin, not only did she go to school with me, but my older brother also was at school with me. So when my mama called me, she like, Brian, where's Cameron? That's my brother, by the way. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And my mom, I guess she realized, like, she was, you know, showing the emotion. So she tried to calm down and she was like, nothing, baby, nothing's going on. Where's your brother? So I'm like, mama, tell me the truth. Like, tell me what's going on. She asked me, why do I think there's something's going on? I told her, like, my intuition is telling me this because my dad's girlfriend called me asking for your number. Then she didn't answer the phone when I called her back. And my daddy's not answering the phone at all. And now you're calling me, panicking, sound like? So she just had to rip the band-aid off because she know I'm not stupid. She like, yeah, like, your dad died. Baby, when she told me this, I fell to the floor. Like, I genuinely fell to the floor. I started screaming. I'm screaming, like, screaming bad. And my roommate walked in and she like, is everything okay? So I'm telling her, like, my dad died, like, y'all. So immediately my mama adds my godmother to the call because to know my godmother is to know she has a very soothing and calming voice, and she got a way of calming people down. So when she had added my godmother to the call, my godmother asking, like, what's wrong? So my mama tell her, like, yeah, Brian died. And so she started crying. And then my mama added more. She was like, not only did Brian die, but Quinn died, which is my uncle. So I'm crying even more. But when she said that, I just hung the phone up, and the first person that was on my mind is my cousin. I'm blowing my cousin phone up. She's not answering the phone. So I text our group chat because me and my cousin, like, we were so locked in to the point where we had the same friends. So I'm texting, like, y'all see, you know, have y'all heard from my cousin? They saying no. Why? I'm telling them, like, our dad just died. So at this point, everybody blowing her phone up trying to get her. She answers and I tell her what's happening, and she like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm dead serious. So literally, I kid you not, like, my college is like an hour and some change from where I live. My auntie, she was already on the way to come get us. One of my aunties, she was already on the way to come get me and my cousin. And when I tell you, like, I just cried the whole way home, like, it was so bad. Oh, and yeah, I just want to let y'all know, like, I'm under the impression that my dad just passed away from cardiac arrest, but really it was like dying from heartbreak because of the simple fact that my uncle passed away first. I don't really know the full details of the situation, even though that's my uncle. My cousins, like, that's their dad, so I don't want to overstep because I love my cousins and I would let them tell that on their own. But my uncle died. It was of natural causes, but my dad died once he found out that his brother died. Mind you, my dad is the oldest and his brother is the youngest, so, like, I would understand. Well, I can say I would understand how he felt, but at the same time, like, they just lost their mom too. So yeah, and that was just a crazy day. But now fast forward to, like, my whole perspective on this whole thing. When everything had happened, I was like just now getting serious with my boyfriend. So I had told my boyfriend that I would call him back once my mom had called me and broke the news. Like, I didn't know what was going on, so I was like, I'm gonna call you back, babe. Like, you know, not gonna lie, it was probably over an hour had passed. I genuinely was not thinking about calling him back because I had just lost my daddy and my uncle. Like, but I forgot I had told him that I would call him back. So he's sending me question marks. So I'm like, oh shit. So I call him, like I'm crying hysterical, telling him like what happened. Mind y'all, this was like late at night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Mind y'all, he worked at nighttime. So he left work and everything, bought me breakfast, bought me hot chocolate just to make sure I was okay. Cause like my face was swollen, and I had no voice, genuinely, just from crying. So after my boyfriend left from my house, my aunt, my great aunt from my mom's side, she came to take me to run errands with her, just to get my mind off of stuff. Mind you, my mom and my younger siblings, they're all in Louisiana. So as I'm in the store with my aunt running errands, I keep getting like my phone is blowing up from, I guess, another great aunt, but this one is from my dad's side. Mind you, I don't know many people on my daddy's side because they never came around. They never took the time to get to know us, so I didn't really know them like that. But this specific aunt is telling me like, oh, I signed these papers and these papers in your behalf at the funeral home because you're the next of kin for your dad, since you're his oldest biological child and this, that, and the third. So at this point, I'm realizing like, damn, like I'm about to have to plan this funeral. I'm 18 years old. I'm fresh in college. Like, I don't know nothing about what's going on. So genuinely, I'm panicking. I call my mama. I tell her what's going on. And man, I'm nothing without my mama, because when I say my mama helped me with everything on the phone, she even came to Houston just for one day to help me so she could go back to work and deal with my siblings. Like, it was a lot of shit going on. But yeah, like everything was just so crazy around that time. Like, imagine having to plan a funeral for 2 people at the age of 18. Like, and then like all the family is getting into it. Like bro, it was just so much, y'all. Y'all know how I go when the death happens. But when I say it was so stressful, and I'm just so glad I still persevered. I'm still in school. I never gave up. Now I'm doing hair. Like, God is good, okay? And I'm just so glad he brought me this far after losing my daddy, because Lord knows I didn't think I was gonna make it out of that state that I was in after losing him. So yeah, that's it.
I definitely heard many people mention stuff like this, dying from heartbreak. That is tragic that she lost her dad and stuff. And you always know when something not right, especially when someone calls like not sounding themselves. It definitely sends off alarms, like so many things around this situation. But rest in peace to her dad and her uncle. And also, it always be drama when funerals and stuff happen. When somebody passes away, I don't know if it's because money involved, like everybody emotions just run in so many different ways. But yeah, funerals is not the time for family to be falling apart and stuff happening. I hope like eventually like people just stop that. It's crazy to me. You guys, drop down in the comment section what you think about her story. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join the family. And if you are new here, please, any views, any comments, any like will help me boost out into the algorithm, hype me up. So you guys don't hesitate to join the family. Yeah, I definitely think that people can die from heartbreak, and this is tragic that she lost her dad after indeed losing his brother and mother. That could be something that's so heartbreaking.